Guys, enough. Please, guys, please. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Adam Friedland Show. I'm your host, Adam Friedland. Get your seatbelts on, and you may want to tighten them, because it seems that two clocks have moved forward this week. The regular clock in observance of daylight savings time and a different theoretical clock. No, not a cuckoo clock where the little guys come out and suck your dick. I'm talking about the economic doomsday clock. Although, I would love to get my hands on one of those dick-sucking cuckoo clocks. If anyone knows where I can get one, just let me know. But before we get into the bank stuff, I just want to say how happy I am that we're getting rid of daylight savings time. I gotta lose an hour of sleep just so some dumbass farmer can have a better time riding a tractor around? How many farmers even are there? 5? Sacrificing the comfort of most Americans for a small group of lazy rednecks is literally the definition of white supremacy and privilege. Daylight savings time is racist, and it needs to be torn down just like the statues of those Confederate generals that we did during George Floyd. For all the shit that Monsanto gets, replacing the American farmer with automatic Zamboni machines and corn made out of COVID vaccines is 100% absolutely worth it to me if it means I never have to deal with daylight savings time again. So with that I say, good riddance daylight savings time, and if you're a farmer, kill yourself. Now that that's out of the way, let's get back to the other clock, the doomsday clock, or whatever the fuck they're calling it. From what I understand, this week it struck 1 minute closer to midnight as federal regulators stepped in and shut down not just one, but 2 banks due to fears of insolvency. Both Signature Bank and Silicon Valley Bank have been placed in FDIC receivership. And what's receivership, you ask? I'm not exactly sure. But I guarantee you, it's Donald Trump's fault. Unless, of course, it's a good thing, in which case, thank you, Kamala Harris. The main bank in question, Silicon Valley Bank, is the second largest bank failure in United States history after Washington Mutual collapsed during the 2008 financial crisis. The third largest was some other bank I've never even heard of. Honestly, I was shocked the World Trade Center didn't make the list. And like most liberals that lived through the 2008 crisis, I can tell you right now that if there's anything I hated more than the Islamophobia in those years, it was the goddamn bailouts. Yes. The big bank bailouts. We all hated banks and they shouldn't be bailed out. And I agree with that. We shouldn't bail out Silicon Valley Bank. I mean it. A bailout is a bad idea. But this time, it's different. Wait, hear me out. Yes, shareholders should lose their money. Anyone dumb enough to invest it in the bank should get fucked. That's a machine I'm willing to rage against. Let's not forget who had their money deposited in the banks. We're not talking about a bunch of Wolf of Wall Street finance bros here. Everyone hates those guys. We're talking about the tech industry, the people that brought us beloved services like Twitter and TikTok and Grindr and the Dominion voting machines. These are the people that fund every progressive idea that we've basically ever had in this country. If the tech industry were around in the 1960s, I guarantee you they would have built a social media platform for MLK. We can all agree on that. The tech industry is literally the only industry in America that still has a dream. Think about how much good the tech industry has done. Think about Steve Jobs. Sandals used to be gay. Think about the push for more climate responsibility in business. You think Exxon would have done that? No. Just the idea of ESG businesses would have seemed Yahoo before a bunch of computer nerds changed the way that we think about the environment. If we don't bail out the tech industry, we're sending a message to the only good capitalists in the world that they will have to pay for the sins of their social cohort. And I'm sorry, but that sounds like racism to me. I'm serious. Isn't that what racism is at its core? Judging an entire group based upon the actions of a few? Is there really that much of a difference between Silicon Valley Bank customers and George Floyd in this instance? By refusing the depositors of Silicon Valley a guarantee that their money is safe, aren't we basically unfairly punishing the brightest and most innovative members of our society because people that look like them, financially speaking, have made our lives miserable? And maybe you're okay with that. Maybe you're thinking, fuck them. They're a casualty in the war against capital. But to me, that sounds fascist. That sounds like something Hitler would say. If you believe that we should punish the most progressive capitalists in the world just to make some silly point, well, if you believe that, you might as well set your clocks back all the way to the 1950s. This is the Adam Friedland Show, and we'll be right back.